Right, here we are, week 153. So, it's been a good week, really. Yes, so nothing untoward's happened. Tank is all good. Nothing's broken. I haven't broken anything. Always a good sign. Yeah, it's been a pretty good week. So the only thing that's happened is last week I said don't make any changes. Let the tank cruise because I'm going away. And the second I turned the camera off, I made a change. It's not a big change, but what happened is I was reading the instructions on the Bacto-balance because it was running out. I thought I was just going to get another bottle, obviously, because I thought I'm going away and I don't want it to run out while I'm away. So I was just reading the instructions, and I noticed that it said it includes the K trace elements in Bacto-balance. So my brain went, well, I'm dosing A and K because I buy the 5 litre containers and I think I dose 27 mils of each a day, which lasts me 6 months. So I just dose those, and obviously I check every couple of months with an ICP that nothing's gone too high. Most of the time it's just low, but I'm not chasing any particular numbers with my trace elements. I just want to know that I'm getting some in there. And I thought, so I can either reduce the amount of K that I'm dosing with my little dosing pump, but then I thought that means the A is going to run out before the K, and then I'm going to have some K left. And then I just like the fact that I dose both at the same rate. So I decided to take the Bacto-balance offline because I thought I've got the pellets. So basically the pellets they're long chain polymers in the pellets, and it's supposed to be long chain polymers in the Bacto-balance. Chocolate Marin argue that long chain polymers are better for the things we want in our reef rather than the short chain polymers that you get if you dose things like vodka and sugar, for example, which allow the things we don't want to take over in our tank. They're more bioavailable to them. Apparently long chain is better. That's the way they argue the point anyway. So I thought, right, well, I'm using the pellets, so I'm carbon dosing anyway. So I'll take the Bacto-balance off a line and see what happens. And what happened is my phosphates went up very quickly. So obviously it works quite well for phosphates. I didn't notice any difference in the nitrates at all. So my nitrates are somewhere between 10 and 20. When I read the salivate test, my eyes tell me it's 20. When I send an ICP off, it tells me that it's 11. But neither of those numbers are of any concern, so so it's somewhere between 10 and 20, basically. And the colour always looks the same to me. So taking the Bacto-balance off, it looks like it had no effect on the nitrates, but it had a big effect on the phosphate. So initially I went, oh, I'll leave that and I'll see where it gets to and see at what point it asymptotes, it levels off. And basically, I lost the bottle really. So it got to 0.45 and it was still going up, and I was just like, do you know what? I'm going away. I don't want to have any big events in the tank because I'm just experimenting and being stupid with it. So I bought the Chocolate Marin Elinifos, which is basically lanthanum chloride. So I'm now dosing lanthanum chloride. Now, I've dosed lanthanum chloride before because I did it on my 1,000 litre tank I had in my office. I dosed it for years, to be fair, because I found it to be a very easy and cheap way of maintaining phosphates. It is simple, really, and it's super effective. Yeah, so I used a calculator and I got that down from 0.45, I think over 4 days, 5 days. So yesterday it was at 0.2, and so the amount I'm dosing, it should be at 0.15 today. Tomorrow it should be at 0.1, which is where I want it, and then I will just adjust the dosing so it kind of maintains it at 0.1. So it's very simple. So I mean, if you look there, I've just put the Versa pump on the wall. It doses straight into my overflow box. So you can either put it in your overflow box or you can put it directly into your skimmer. My skimmer's external, so getting tube down to dose it into the body of the skimmer is a lot more difficult than if it was an internal skimmer. If it was an internal skimmer, you could just dose it where the inlet of your skimmer is and it will get pulled in. But obviously it's more difficult for me to do that because the pump that feeds the skimmer doesn't only feed the skimmer. So if I dose the Lanthanum into the head of the A400, which drives the water into that skimmer, it also does my little LPS tank down there. It does my UV skimmers. So it's possible that it would bypass the skimmer, and I don't really want it getting into the main display. So I am putting it down my my drain, so it's been dosed into my overflow box. So it's got about 3 meters of 50 ml drain before it gets into the sump. So it's got all of that contact time for it to bind with the phosphate and then become a particulate. And then the idea is that it will go straight through my filter fleece, where now it's a particulate, it will get caught and taken out of the tank. If by some chance it gets through the filter sock, some of it will get through the filter sock, then it's still probably going to get picked up by that A400 and taken up into the skimmer. And the skimmer returns back to the sump, and then has to go through the filter roll again anyway. So it doesn't go straight into the main display. It goes back into the sump and then goes another route through the filter fleece. So I'm hoping, no, I'm not hoping, I'm pretty confident that there's going to be very little, probably none, getting into the main display. Why is that a concern, you may ask? Well, there's lots of reports of people saying that, particularly tangs, and I don't really know why it would be tangs more than any other fish, to be honest, but they say that the lanthanum chloride, once it binds with the phosphate and becomes particular, can stick to the gills, and if it's at a high enough concentration, it can kill fish, and it can irritate them if it's at low concentration. So I've been looking at the fish just a bit more closely this week, just to make sure I haven't seen any behavioural changes at all. So I'm hoping that that is all going to work fine. I mean, I do like it. I've dosed it for probably 4 or 5 years on my other tanks. My only reservation, and this is one of those things you hear, and it could be total rubbish, is that I've heard some people say that clams do not like lanthanum chloride, and they will slowly, you'll see the demise of clams over time. So I don't know whether it's true. I did have clams in my other tank, so I don't really think that's going to hold out. But that was the only thing that made me kind of question whether I should use it or not. But I'll see. I'll see how it gets on. And what I'm hoping is by the time I've dosed it quite high because it got up to 4.45. I think the most I've dosed was 50 ml, I think, over a 24-hour period. Now I'm at 28 ml. And then when it gets to 0.1, I'm hoping that probably a dose of about between 10 and 15 ml a day will hold it at 0.1. I've got the Versa on continuous dosing, so I think the dosing rate is 0.025. I think I'm dosing it. So it's dosing really slowly. Just you can watch the drip slowly form on the end of the dosing tube and then just fall into that overflow box. So it's super slow. And the other thing I thought actually, which may be handy, is that Neptune, even though they're called Neptune or Apex, I think the company's called Neptune, isn't it? So they've just announced that they will be releasing in think it's May, the Trident 2 nitrate and phosphate tester. So that would work really nicely actually if you're dosing lanthanum chloride. It will not particularly worried about the nitrate, but phosphate, it will, I think it tests once a day. So I think if you get that phosphate test and it works nicely, you really could now, by using lanthanum chloride, you could probably nail your phosphate at 0.1 pretty much bang on, I reckon. Yes, that's a long-term plan. So short-term, I'm dosing it, and it seems to be doing a very good job. So that is it. So yeah, so this week I'm just going to clear all the lines that I use to feed the tank with the liquid food from the doser. I've got a new litre of phytoplankton I'll put in the day before I leave, so I know that's completely done. I will put a whole new fleece filter roll on. I've got one on there. It probably would last, they normally last between a month and 6 weeks. But I just want to I'll put a new one on. I'll just take that half roll off and I'll put a whole new roll on. Then I know there's no question of it not lasting while I'm away. I've got to put the outlet on a skimmer into the drain, check that I've got all the reagents in the tridents, everything I'm dosing completely filled so it's going to last while I'm away. And then I know I'm good, really. And if anything else happens, it's beyond my control. All the lights have been good since the daylight savings, so I won't have to worry about any of them, hopefully. Yeah, so touch wood, it should be all good. So that's it, really. Yeah, so the only thing I've changed, oh yeah, now the other thing I did is I chiseled back my Hollywood stunner on this end of the tank, because it's grown out on the ledge, but it's also grown up onto the top of the rock. And I think what's happened is that it's putting out sweeper tentacles at night. And I've got two little frags on the top there. One of them's still okay, but the one at the back it's died. So I think it's a shame, really, because it was doing really well and it's been there for a few months. But I think the Hollywood stunner has just killed it off. So I hacked it back with I just got a screwdriver and prized it off, basically. So I think that's the first bit of coral trimming I've done so far. So I think I'm going to have to do that quite often, to be honest. Yeah, everything else is good. The clams are fine still. Fish are all good. Convict Tang is still being a flat. I don't think he's ever going to change. I think at some point I'll probably end up taking him out because I try not to let it affect me, but he's just there being a dick, and he winds me up at times. So I just think, my God. I mean, look at that. It's just chased that yellow tang the whole 13-foot length of this tank. It's just such a... Oh, it's my oldest fish as well. But anyway, yeah, so that's it, guys. So I don't know whether I will do a video next week. I'm going to be in Sulawesi, home of the Banggai Cardinal. I'm not actually going where them islands are. I'm going a bit further north, but I don't know whether I will make a video or not. So it could be week 154, no maintenance, and I might put a little video out of trying to think the name of it. I'm going to Silinden Island, something like that. It's a little island in a marine reserve. I'm hoping, touch wood again, that the coral reefs and the diving will be really nice. But I hope that every time I go diving, most of the time, I'm let down. But anyway, I will see what it's like. So yes, I may make a video of that if all the things necessary occur. So if not, I will see you the week after. Anyone in the UK is watching this, Love to Reef is on in May, so I've got tickets for that, so I will be going because it's only 20 minutes away from me. So yeah, it'd be good to see some people there that watch the stream and just come up and say hi and whatever. It'd be nice. Yeah, so I think that is it for this week. So I may see you next week. If not, I will see you in 2 weeks. All the best.